Ladies and gentlemen, today is June 4th, 2015. And this is the KNKL Show, episode 235. I'm your host, Kienan Lafferty. And today it's Thoughtful Thursday. We normally like to learn to be better artists. On Tuesday, we have the tutorials. But on Thursdays, we'd like to do something special. We like to meditate beneath the bonsai tree. Join our downstairs neighbors in an awesome live show. I think it's so awesome that my downstairs neighbors are super supportive of my show, my art, and all that stuff. And I like to play music really loud, and they haven't come up and killed me yet, so that's really awesome of them. So say thank you to Jake Hernandez in the chat, or if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a nice comment for him in the chat below. All right, ladies and gentlemen, but let's go ahead and get on with the show. Today we're going to be talking about is the path to mastery. The path to mastery. And a couple revelations that have really come to me over the last couple days, because I've been feeling like this interesting feeling of sort of getting bored, even though you could look around and say, hey, you know what? I have a successful YouTube show, right? We're approaching 20,000 subscribers. I can't believe we're about to hit that number. That is so freaking awesome. I never even dreamed of the day that I would get 20,000 subscribers, and we're about to get there. And so it's hey, a successful YouTube show. Hey, I get to work as a concept artist for, League of Legends, a really awesome game, and I get to do it from home in my own home office. How comfortable and relaxed and easy of a life is that, right? It's I really made it. I've made it. But I found myself getting up in the morning, or actually not even getting up in the morning. I'd get up at around 10:30 at the earliest, 11, kind of roll out of bed, just kind of not excited about life. And this leads into what we're going to talk about today, the path to mastery, and how basically even after, no matter how far you go or what skill you're going to learn, especially you guys out there as artists, I know a lot of artists watch this, there will come a day where you will basically, you're going to start seeing some diminishing returns on your growth, right? Now, I'm not saying that I'm a perfect master artist. I got a lot of stuff to learn. I'm going to be learning for the rest of my life. But in terms of where I wanted to get with my art, I feel like I got the job, and now I'm making a comic, and more or less I feel that I have, mastered to a certain extent my art skill. And now everything that I learn is sort of little incremental sort of things. You could call it almost like a plateau. And I think that there is a mental game behind this that could help me kind of break out of this, and then I could, explode and go on and, continue improving. But at the same time, I really think that it is easy. Just imagine whatever you're really confident with. Say this applies to anything. Say you're playing a video game. I like to play The Last of Us online, right? And I'll be playing and everything, and I've been playing that freaking thing for years. I have sunk hundreds and hundreds of hours into that game, and I would say that I've gotten pretty dang good at it, right? And do you ever notice that whenever you start to get good at something, there's this momentary feeling of oh yeah, I'm a winner, I'm good. But then it's kind of short-lived, and then once you realize that your progress is starting to move slower, you start to get kind of bored. You start to look around at life, and you're is this all there is? Now what? There's not much more progress to be made, and that's the key word there is progress, because I really think that people derive happiness from progress. Human beings in general just want one thing, and that is progress towards something. They want to build something. They want to, build a skill. They want to be moving somewhere. And this is a good thing. I really think this is it's hard-coded into our DNA, evolution and all that. The goodness of the human genome, or whatever you want to call it, right? Or the progression of the human species. We're supposed to want to always progress. And when we don't have progression, we tend to get bored with life. We tend to get a little bit depressed. And this is really, really baffling, because even when you say that, you've succeeded at something, you can still kind of hit that plateau and kind of get bored. So my awesome revelation was two things. Okay, and let's just go ahead and start this off with a video. Now, I'm not going to play this entire video because I want you guys to go see it for yourselves. This is on YouTube, and it is Shia LaBeouf. This thing is getting tons of views right now, and it's freaking awesome. And he has basically one thing to say to you. 2 words for you, and these are it right here. Do it! Okay, so that's all we're going to watch of that video. But if you notice the way that he says that, my roommate Colton showed this to me. And at first I saw it and I was like, interesting. Very, very interesting. It's just literally Shia LaBeouf like flexing his muscles like this, right? He's up and he's like, do it, right? And the reason why I like this is because it's so to the point. It's so to the point. Like, have you ever heard the expression, like, you don't need to explain yourself? Like, basically, whatever you want out of life, whatever you want to do, it's like, you don't need to necessarily, like, I've read books. Like, I got books on, like, willpower because I was concerned. I was like, I feel like I'm losing my willpower. I feel like I'm losing motivation and excitement in my life, right? And so I got this book called Willpower, which is also an awesome book, by the way. I highly recommend it. So I was like reading through it. I was like, why am I like losing my excitement and passion in life? You know, even though I feel like I've mastered something, I feel like I've had success. And when I saw this video, it was really interesting because he just like gets to the point. He has some like motivational stuff in there, but really the funniest thing is just him saying "do it" and doing all kinds of like funny like like different gestures with his body. It's so hilarious. You guys got to go check it out. If you just type in, you know, Shia LaBeouf "do it," you'll see it for yourself. And I highly recommend doing it. But it basically kind of just cut to the chase, right? There was no more explaining. There was no like, oh, there's like this, there must be like this repressed memory from your childhood that you need to get over, you know, or that you need to face, right? There was like a childhood memory or someone that did you wrong. And you need to go in your mind and visualize them standing in front of you, and you need to forgive them. Or there's none of that. None of that esoteric crap, none of that spiritual crap, no reading, none of that. It just boils down to one thing. It's like whatever you want, figure out what you want, and then just do it. Just go out there and freaking do it. There's no more explaining. There's no more, you know, trying to define what it is or why you want it. It's just like whatever you want, just go out and do it. And I really like that. So the way that this kind of got into my head and came to what we're talking about today, the path to mastery, is this. Okay, so here's basically the cure for all boredom that you will get, no matter how far, you know, if you feel that you've mastered something, and then inevitably you will get this. Like, trust me, the day will come and you will say, oh man, I am such a great this and that, right? I'm a great guitarist, right? I'm an amazing singer. I'm a great dancer. And I've wanted to be this my entire life. And then the next day, you know, you'll get up and you'll be kind of bored. You'll be kind of bored. And here's the cure for that. So the reason why you're feeling depressed and kind of unmotivated is because in a certain sense, you have arrived at your destination. You arrived. You started your journey a long time ago, your path to mastery. You walked that path, and now you've reached the end of it. You know, there's still some extra things you can do. Maybe there's another path after that, but for the most part, you've reached the end. And unless this is the big important part, unless you replace that with another path to mastery, unless you start building something else, you will begin to falter. You'll begin to kind of stumble and kind of lose passion. You'll lose excitement for the things that you really want to do. A good example of this is like, for instance, like just my work in general, or especially with Emma, the comic. You know, I was kind of always just pushing it to the side. And it was something that I knew I could do, and it was something that I knew I wanted to do, and it would bring me a ton of happiness. But I kept just kind of pushing it aside because I just felt like my willpower was gone. So basically, what I did for my new path to mastery is Colton and I have been talking about, you know, going to the gym, getting in shape. I'm a freaking artist. I sit in my chair for freaking all day. I sit in my chair. The best like physical exercise I get is opening that door and then walking into the kitchen to like make some nachos. Like, that is my physical fitness for the day. So it's like I am a complete noob when it comes to being in shape. And I've always wanted, you know, I got plans for the future. I want to visit different places in the world, and I want to be in good shape. I want to have a good working body, so that way when I go there, I can experience things, you know, I can climb a rock wall or go swimming in the ocean or whatever, you know. So I got a lot of plans, and I figured, hey, you know what, this is probably another good path to mastery that I can start right now. And so Colton and I got a gym membership just, you know, down the street. And I don't know how long it'll last. Like who knows? I could go really strong for a year. I could go for a month. But I'm committing to myself that this is my new path to mastery. And when I looked at it that way, I just got so excited about it because basically when I walk in that gym, right, it's all like, there's like these big, like ripped dudes like walking around, and like I mean, there's the whole spectrum of people. There's like out of shape people that look like me, you know, scrawny, nerdy people, big old buff dudes, and it's just like a really nice spectrum. And it's a really nice gym, really beautiful gym, and I really like going there. But needless to say, I am a noob at that stuff. I haven't done that in years. I haven't really even worked out or even tried to kind of build my body in any sort of way. So guess what happened? The first couple days, my progress was like just like huge leaps, moon jumps of progress. And so naturally what happened was I got done at the gym, I came back home, and I felt amazing. I felt so happy. And it wasn't necessarily because I was working out. I could have done just the same thing and say, hey, you know what? My new path to mastery is going to be knitting. I'm going to start knitting something. And if I was really passionate and excited about that, I would feel just the same because my progress, I'm learning and I'm improving at a huge rate. So, and here's the cool thing. Once you've finished one path to mastery and you begin another one, the excitement and passion that you get from starting your new path to mastery carries over to everything else. Everything else. So now what happens is when I get home from going to the gym, now I notice that it's easy to sit down. It's super easy to sit down and do my work. It's super easy to sit down and do stuff for Emma. And it's it's not hard at all. And then the things that I used to do to kind of like waste my time or just kind of tune out, because I used to stay up late playing video games all night. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if that really is your lifestyle and you like doing that, then do it. But for me personally, I wanted to get a little bit more, I just wanted to get up a little bit earlier. I wanted a little bit more control of my time. I felt more that the game was controlling me than I was controlling when I decided to play it. That was my problem. I felt like it was more of an addiction. And so naturally, but the cool thing is now that I started this new path to mastery, it's like I don't even have the urge to do that stuff anymore. I almost feel like I'm more disciplined in all other areas because I've started this new path to mastery. Okay, so rounding up everything, let's go ahead and, you know what? Yeah, let's just refresh everything. Let's refresh everything. And then we'll take some questions. Okay, so path to mastery. Let's sum up everything. So basically, in a nutshell, whatever you're doing in life, wherever you want to get to, one day you will get there. One day you will get there. And then you'll find yourself looking around and you'll start to get kind of bored and you'll feel like something's wrong. You'll feel like, man, I spent my whole life getting here and now I'm not happy. I'm not happy. Like I was more happy back when I almost had nothing, when I was like uncertain and I could barely even afford to feed myself and my cat. Like I was having more adventure there. And basically, okay, and the reason why is because you have finished your journey. You have finished a journey, and now it's time to replace it with something else. It's time to replace it. Or rather, I don't want to say replace it, because it's not like you just replace it and then forget about the other thing. It's not like you say, oh, I want to become a professional singer. I'm not going to do art anymore. But you do, I will say it, you need to supplement. That's a good word since I'm working out. You supplement your old path to mastery with a new one. Because you want to think about it like this. Your new path to mastery is a giant log, right? It's a giant log that you throw into the furnace that is your passion, your fiery passion. And, you know, the log of your old path to mastery is totally burnt out. But with the new fuel that you put in there, it now burns everything. It burns everything. It burns bright, it burns hot, and it's freaking awesome. You can carry that energy to everything else that you do in life. Okay, so I hope that helps you guys out. And if you're feeling just in general like you're unmotivated with life, like this doesn't have to just be at the end of a path to mastery. If you're feeling just in general bored or kind of like depressed, then I want to ask you, like, really think about it. What do you want to do? What's your path to mastery? What are you going to do? What are you going to do with your life? Because the other thing is, you know, I got news for you. And this is really, really negative, but it's something that everybody needs to hear. If you don't start on a path to mastery, if you don't get good at something and you don't have something to offer the world, then I'm sorry, the world's not going to offer you anything back. It's just not, because that's the way it works. You got to have something to give in order to get something back in this world. You got to have a skill. You got to have like a product. You got to have something that's going to enrich the lives of others, right? So keep that in mind. It's a little negative, but it's also very empowering if you think about it that way. You're going to get in life what you deserve, and you're going to deserve stuff by building skill. All righty, peoples, it's time for the question catapults. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please cast your questions over the castle walls. And I will answer them. I will answer them. And just in case you need a little more motivation, just do it! I absolutely love this video. It's the best. Like, and it's funny because I get, oh, there's another thing that he says in here. There's another, okay, again, I love this right here.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Not here.
Yesterday, you said tomorrow.
Okay, right there.
You said dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow.
Okay, did you hear that? Yesterday you said tomorrow.
You said tomorrow.
I love that he says that.
You said tomorrow. So just do it!
That specific line, yesterday you said tomorrow, was another really it's so perfect. It's so perfect because it's such a silly video and it makes you laugh. But then at the end, it's like you think about it and it's like, yeah, actually I did say that. It's like yesterday I did say tomorrow. And today I'm still saying tomorrow. So now what I'm starting to realize is that my trigger word, whenever I hear myself saying in my mind that I'm going to do it tomorrow, instead I say, no, I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to do it right now. Like, and I urge you guys to do that too. It goes for all kinds of different things. Like actually enrolling at the gym. I said, oh, well, I'm going to do a little bit of research into it. I'm going to be going out of town in a couple of weeks to like help my girlfriend move. So that wouldn't make sense to like go and get a membership. I'm going to be paying for the membership while I'm not even here. So I'll do it when I get back. I'll do it tomorrow. And you know what I did when I said that? I was like, no, on second thought, I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to call it right now. Or actually, I logged online and I enrolled online. And I did it immediately. So keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind. Watch out for tomorrow and watch out for someday. I've told you about those. All right, questions coming in. What's your next big dream? Leritos. What's your next big dream you want to achieve? Like, are you planning to get into some other game studio? Well, my next big dream, or rather my next path to mastery, as I said, is more so like mastering my body and mastering my mind, right? Mastering my mental game. And I feel that the two kind of go hand in hand because now I've discovered that what was kind of holding me back mentally was that I was not doing anything new. I wasn't starting a new path to mastery. I didn't have passion for something. I wasn't doing something that I was a noob at, so that way I could gain huge progress, huge learning. And like, it's really exciting. It's really exciting. Something new, introducing something new in your life where you can make big progress. So my next thing is, I want to be healthy. I want to master my body. And, but after that, I want to start traveling. I'm going to start traveling the world. Everybody says, oh, I want to travel the world. Well, I'm going to be one of those people that actually does do it. I'm going to be one of those people that actually does do it because I've set up my life, set up my job in a way that I can do that. I can work from anywhere in the world. I can work just as easily in this seat as I can in a chair in Italy, at some restaurant eating spaghetti, while some guy is in the back, like throwing the pizza, mamma mia pizza. Okay, we're not going there. I'm not going to offend you guys. I'm sorry. I already did. All right, next question. Next question. What is that? I'm going to do that one of these times. I'm going to stream, and there's going to be like a guy like tossing a pizza like right behind me. It's going to be freaking awesome. All right. Grimbark asks, how do you feel about having multiple distinct styles? Paintings, chibis, as an example. Is it better to be focused on one or more versatile? Grimbark, great question. It is good to be versatile. I like to be versatile. Because you guys can tell, like, I do a bunch of different styles. I do splash arts, but then I also do the comic. I do Emma, and it's like a completely different style. In fact, it's quite funny because people go on my DeviantArt every now and then. They're like, yeah, this art belongs to Riot, League of Legends, and I don't think that you should be uploading it, saying that it's your own. I was like, oh, really? Do you think, nobody drew this? Like, Riot, the studio, just magically makes these splashes appear and nobody has to paint them? Who do you think painted them? Who do you think painted them? Of course, I don't type that because I'm not mean, but I'm just like, oh, that's cute. That's cute. It's another person that doesn't know. That's okay. They'll figure it out. And then everybody in the comments like starts flaming them and be like, you idiot. That's the real KNKL. And I like that. That's why I love you guys. See, I don't even have to do that. I don't even have to argue with people. You do it for me. And that is a nice place to be. All right. Let's see. Gamer Menace is asking, do you think I'm crazy because I quit my job because I was hurting my body and I miss being able to draw? Gamer Menace, yes, you are crazy. You are crazy. But you know what happens to crazy people? They soar with the eagles or they burn to the ground, right? You're going to either crash and burn or you're going to soar with the eagles. I like high risk, high reward. I personally quit my job 2 years ago. I quit working in-house at the studio so that way I could pursue my passion. And that's what you are doing yourself. So I do congratulate you. But the one thing I will caution you on is that you got to make sure that you're serious, right? And to be honest, when you do quit your job, that's like a really drastic thing. I would just say use that fire that's going to get lit under your butt to give you that passion. In fact, I've actually thought about quitting my job again, just so I can get back to the comic. But I've realized that maybe that's a bit of a too drastic measure, especially for what I'm planning to do. But again, that was because I was kind of like feeling like I felt like something was wrong. I was like, I'm like feeling depressed. I'm feeling like a lack of interest again. Why is that? And I realized it's not because I had to quit my job again. It's just because I had to do something else. I had to find passion in another path to mastery. So, again, quitting the job is not always the answer. All right. QTS is asking, hey, Keenan, have you ever worked super hard on something, shot for photorealism, then had somebody immediately brand your work as a cartoon? If so, how do you get past it? Tell them to shut up. Tell them to shut up and walk away. No, I mean, like, you should take the criticism with a grain of salt. You know, it's like if someone, and here's the other thing, is like, if it's your friend saying it, that's one thing. If it's a stranger saying it, then I almost like value the opinions of strangers even more, because those people are not connected emotionally to you. They're not afraid to hurt your feelings. So I really do value the opinions of strangers when it comes to assessing my skill. And, so yeah, if someone said that to you, I would really take a close look at it. But if you feel that their criticism is doing nothing but trying to just kind of beat you down, like if your friend is also an artist and you feel like they're just kind of trying to one-up you or get a little ahead of you or put you down, then obviously don't listen to that. But usually that's not the case. And I don't want to make you all paranoid or anything. But taking feedback is a very important thing. And it's good to know when to take it and when to kind of stand your ground. So just kind of, but that's another skill. That's another skill that takes years to learn. And you'll learn it eventually, right? Working in the office, working for a game company or any sort of studio will teach you how to take feedback properly and how to give feedback properly. Last question. Oh, Traxy is asking, hey Keenan, how can I avoid doing work a couple days before my deadlines and destroy myself? Seems like something is holding me back. Even though I'm passionate about my work, do I just have a crappy personality? No discipline? How can I improve? It's hard to say, because most of the time, here's what I would say, is that most of the time it's not necessarily your discipline. I think us as artists, we're eager to please, right? So oftentimes we're apt to set deadlines that are a little bit too, they're not generous enough for us, right? Keep in mind, like, keep track of your working habits. If you're honestly working every day and then you're scrambling at the end to get something done, then you need to be a little bit more generous with your timelines. I personally always give myself like an extra week. Like whatever I think it's going to take me, I give myself an extra week. You know, same thing with getting paid for a job. Whatever I think I'm going to get paid for my time, I always add a little bit more to make up for the inevitable changes and feedback that's going to come in from that. But if you do feel you're giving yourself enough time and you're just kind of like slacking off, or you don't have a set schedule like I do, I talk about working and resting, finding that good balance between dividing your hour. Divide your hour into half. Work one half, rest the other. Okay? And if you do that and you're still having trouble, then yeah, I would be more generous with your deadlines. All right, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we're going to end today's show. Thank you guys so much for joining me live on Twitch. People on YouTube, thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't. Before we go, I'd like to say thank you to my lovely sponsors, aka Defenders of the KNKL Kingdom. Mitchell, David, Laura. These people are awesome. They have sponsored the show. They are Defenders of the Kingdom. They keep the show running. They keep the lights on at night, and I love them for that. And speaking of sponsors, if you would like to become a sponsor yourself, you can go visit Shia LaBeouf. And you can also go to Patreon. People on YouTube, if you are watching, you can click that little link in the bottom right. You can go get all kinds of cool rewards. You can pledge whatever dollar amount you'd like. You can get PSDs. You can sponsor the show. All kinds of cool stuff. I'll let you go check it out for yourself. And yeah, go get some goodies. Alrighty, people. With all that, we are going to go ahead and end it. So you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.